Hi, I'm Danny. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to dive deeper into parasitic draw. I've done a couple of videos in the past of how to determine if you have a parasitic draw, but in today's video, we're going to dive deeper and I'm going to show you how to actually diagnose the circuit that's causing that parasitic draw. And we're going to find a component or relay that's causing the problem. Let's get started. I'm going to use the amp clamp to see how large that battery drain is. I know it's a large drain because it kills my battery within a couple of hours. If I use a meter, it may be too large for the meter to handle because this is only protected by a 10 amp fuse and I don't want to blow that fuse. I do have a video on how to hook up the meter as well as the amp clamp, but I'll show you the amp clamp right now. The amp clamp, it just needs to be on the amp scale, and then to zero it out on this meter, you just push this button here. Now let's put it over the battery cable on the negative side. And if you have two of these cables coming off your negative battery, it needs to go over both. So that's a 3.5 amp draw. That's a pretty big draw. Our next step is to start checking the fuses to see which fuse has current running through it. And then that's the circuit that we need to focus on. So let's do that now. There's a few different ways to determine which fuse has current going through it. The first one is just pull the fuse and look at the amp clamp and see if the current goes away. If it does, that's the fuse that had current going through it. The problem with this is it could wake up other modules on the newer cars. So it could get very time consuming. Another way on these larger current draws, this is a 3.5 amp draw, so a thermal imaging camera, that'll work good to find which fuse has current going through it because these work off heat. For the new cars, a multimeter is going to be a better option. Put the multimeter in the millivolt scale, take your meter's test leads. You want to read the millivolts across the test points of the fuse. Once you get that reading, you need to convert that into milliamps. A better way, if you're lucky enough to have it, is use the amp hound 2. This will actually do the same thing the meter does, but it's going to convert those millivolts into milliamps. Now let's determine which fuse has current going through it. My amp clamp has over 3 amps going through it. My multimeter is set up to do a voltage drop test. I'm on millivolts here, and if I zero out the meters, it's on 0. So I got to go to the test points of each fuse and determine if there is a voltage drop. On this one, I've got 0.2 voltage drop, so there's current going through this fuse. This 7.5 amp, my voltage drop is 0, so there's no current going through that fuse. On this 15 amp, there's no current going through that fuse. And on this 7.5 amp, I've got 31.8 millivolts going through that fuse. So this is most likely my problem. Now I'm going to pull that fuse to see if the current goes away. Don't watch the meter. You're going to watch the amp clamp here as I pull it. And there it is. This is the circuit for my current draw. I just did a Google search for a schematic for an 8th generation Honda Civic for that fuse number 20, 7.5 amp, and it goes directly to the AC compressor clutch relay. Once it closes, it goes right to the AC compressor clutch. So that's what we're going to check now. Let's go pull that relay. So the fuse is back in. We're going to look at the draw again. And then this is the compressor clutch relay. So let's go ahead and just pull this one off. And there it drops. So now we either have a problem here or the relay is bad. The easiest thing to do would probably be to swap this out with a different relay. So let's do that. So I've got another relay here. Let's go ahead and put it in and see if our draw comes back. And it doesn't. So we have a bad relay. Let's go ahead and check this relay. Now put your meter on the ohm scale and we're going to check the coil resistance. So inside these relays, there's a coil. And by the way, I have a whole video on testing relays. I'll put a link to that one in the description. So on the coil, it's going to be these two pins, and we should see between 50 and 120 ohms. So I'm seeing 102 on this relay, which passes. And then on this one, I'm seeing 103. So the next two, these should be open. So I should not get a resistance reading on these at all. And that one's open. And then this one also should be open. But I think it's closed. And there it is. So this is our bad relay. We just verified it. So the last thing I need to do is verify my fix. I'm going to do it with a multimeter and a little jumper cable. We're going to start by setting up our meter. It needs to go into the amp scale. Right now we're on AC amps. I'm going to push this button to get it into DC amps. Now we need to disconnect the negative battery terminal from the post. We're going to take the red lead and we're going to put it on that negative battery terminal here. Then we're going to take the black lead and it's going to go on the post. It's not going to fit, so I have a jumper cable right here. And then we're going to hook it right on there. Now our meter leads, the COM is going to go into the COM side. And before I put the red one in, I need to put a jumper on the same place that I just put these meter leads. This is going to keep this 10 amp fuse from blowing in my meter in case there's over a 10 amp draw. I don't know that until I do this here. So let's go ahead and put this on those same spot. And then I can go ahead and put my meter lead here. And now it's reading about 130, 40, 200 amps. It's all over the place. Now I'm going to remove my jumper cable, and once I do, all the current is going to flow through the meter that whatever the car is using right now. So let's go ahead and remove that jumper cable. And now let's read. So it looks like it went down to 38 milliamps. My spec is 50. My car's fixed. For those of you that are still watching this video, I have a little bonus footage. So if you have a parasitic draw that's not showing up, you can set your meter up to read it overnight and catch a glitch. Let me show you how to do that. The meter's going to be hooked up the exact same way. I'm just going to push the min-max button. Now it's going to record the minimum and the maximum amount of current that it sees. So I could leave this sitting overnight and it would catch any voltage or current spike. If you got something out of today's video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have a battery story or parasitic draw story of your own, throw it in the comments. I love reading about it. I'll put links to all the tools and related videos in the description. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.